your family needed a favor. This is a situation where you owe me one. Have a nice rest of your day.
It sounds like someone deliberately tried to hurt you.
Sounds like attempted murder.
I can't imagine how terrified you must have been.
I found out who did this.
I love you, Derek.
For one night, let me remind you of who you still are.
I fell in love with an inconvenient man.
Now you have to deal with the inconvenient consequences. You see how that works?
You couldn't possibly hurt me more than you already have.
Don't try me.
We got a problem.
Protecting the family is our priority.
Agreed.
See you around the neighborhood.
Beyond the Gates, new daytime series premieres CBS Monday, February 24th and streaming on Paramount Plus.
It's New Year's Eve and Uptown is hopping, as is the country club. But Daphnee and Nicole's plans are derailed when Vernon calls, asking them to swing by the manse. While he and Anita don't want to ruin New Year's Eve for their daughters, the fact that her surgery is scheduled for tomorrow leaves them no choice. Sitting down with Daphnee and Nicole, Anita doesn't beat around the bush as she tells them she's been diagnosed with cancer. Anita tells her daughters that it's triple-negative cancer, which means it's particularly aggressive and has a high rate of recurrence. At the same time, Vernon is breaking the news to Andre, asking for him to be there when Daphnee needs him. Later, Vernon joins Anita in revealing that this particular type of cancer can easily be passed along, prompting them to all vow to get tested. Later, Daphnee tells Andre that she's going to have to tell Bill, who'll be worried about their daughter. Spending the evening arm in arm, Vanessa and Joey are definitely the talk of the town, or at least the club. While they aren't welcomed by society, he doesn't care, pulling her off for a private dance, wondering if he passed her test. He admits that he shut down when his wife died, but that he couldn't keep Vanessa from stealing his heart. Ashley, decked out in a dress she bought to make herself feel better and looking incredible, finds out from Naomi that Derek is going to be at the Uptown party, too. When he arrives, they have an awkward but not unpleasant conversation. Elsewhere at Uptown, Madison gets tipsy and Chelsea seems weirdly tense and distracted. Turns out she was waiting for special guest Kenny Lattimore, who performs his hit song For You. Kat, looking like $1 million on Thomas' arm, is flying high and looking forward to the new year. Shanice and Ted are having a flirty conversation when a clearly jealous Leslie interrupts. Shanice tells Ted about the progress being made on the clinic, asking him to be on the steering committee. She tries to pitch it as a family project, allowing them to work with their daughter, but he's not feeling it. He then takes great pleasure in revealing that she's been spreading false rumors about Vernon having an affair. It's ugly and there's no truth to it, he says before shutting down her flirting and walking away. Shanice and Ted wind up having dinner together at Orphe Jean's, with her urging him to move on and start his post-Nicole life. And as the ball drops, Ted pulls Shanice into a kiss. Later, Leslie gets a text from Marcel asking if she wants to get together, prompting her to ditch the club's party. The scent of burnt sugar and pine needles still hung in the air of the Horton living room, a clinging ghost of Christmas past. It was December 30th, a strange, liminal day in Salem where the world seemed to hold its breath, suspended between one celebration and the next. Nicole Walker, perched on the edge of the sofa, tried to focus on the twinkling lights still strung around the mantel, but her gaze kept drifting to Daphnee Stark, who was methodically folding a cashmere throw as if the fate of the world depended on its perfect corners. Anita, Daphanee's mother, had called this meeting. That fact alone was a knot of dread in Nicole's stomach. Anita, usually a woman of effusive warmth and slightly chaotic energy, had been solemn on the phone. I need to see you both. At the house. It's important. No jokes, no inquiries about holiday plans. Just a quiet urgency that had Nicole and Daphnee exchanging a single, wary glance before arriving in separate cars. Can I get you girls anything? Anita asked, hovering by the archway. Her hands fluttered, bird-like and nervous. Tea. Coffee. Something stronger. Mom, you're scaring us, Daphnee said, her voice calm but with an undercurrent of steel. She placed the finally perfect throw aside. Just sit. Please. Anita complied, lowering herself into John's old armchair. She looked small in it, swallowed by the worn leather. For a long moment, she stared at her hands, clasped so tightly her knuckles were white. The silence was broken only by the distant chime of the grandfather clock in the hall. "I don't know how to say this," Anita began, her voice thin. "So I'll just say it. I'm sick." The word, simple and devastating, landed in the room like a physical blow. Nicole felt the air leave her lungs. Daphnee went very still. "What kind of sick?" Daphnee asked, the steel in her voice now brittle. Anita took a shaky breath. "Pancreatic cancer. They found it a few weeks ago. I've been having tests, getting second opinions, but it's advanced. Stage 4. Stage 4. The finality of it echoed. Nicole's hand flew to her mouth. She looked at Daphnee, whose face had drained of all color. Daphnee, her rock, her partner in everything from navigating Salem's gossip vortex to building their boutique marketing firm, looked utterly shattered. "No," Daphnee whispered. It wasn't a denial of the information, but a rejection of the universe that would deliver it. "No, there are treatments. New trials. We'll go to Rochester, Boston, MD Anderson." "Daphnee, honey," Anita interrupted gently, her eyes glistening. "I've looked. My doctors have consulted. The options, they're palliative. To buy time, and to make the time I have manageable." "How much time?" The question tore from Nicole, harsh and raw, before she could stop it. Anita's composure wavered. A single tear traced a path down her cheek. 6 months. Maybe a year. With aggressive care. The room tilted. Nicole saw the future she'd unconsciously painted. Anita helping plan their eventual wedding, spoiling future grandchildren, being a constant, vibrant, annoying, wonderful presence, crack and disintegrate. Daphnee stood up abruptly, pacing to the fireplace, her back to them, shoulders rigid. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" Daphanee's voice was choked. "Because of this," Anita said, gesturing toward her daughter's back. "Because I wanted you to have one last normal Christmas. No shadows. Just us. And because I needed to wrap my own head around it before I could lay it at your feet." Nicole rose and went to Daphnee, placing a tentative hand on her shoulder. She felt the tremble beneath the silk blouse. "Daphnee." Daphnee shook her off, not out of anger, but out of a profound need to hold herself together. She turned, her eyes dry but blazing with a furious grief. "We fight this. We fight it with everything. You hear me, Mom? Everything." Anita gave a watery smile. "Oh, my fierce girl. I know you will. And I'll fight, too. But I need you to fight with me, not just for me. That means listening when I'm tired. That means starting to accept what we can't change." The next hour was a blur of medical jargon, tearful embraces, and practical, horrible discussions. Power of attorney. Living wills. Treatment schedules starting the first week of January. Nicole took notes mechanically, her professional demeanor a life raft in the storm of emotion. Daphnee asked sharp, precise questions, her business acumen channeled into this new, awful project management. When they finally stumbled out into the brittle winter afternoon, the world felt alien. The cheerful holiday decorations on neighboring houses seemed garish and mocking. "Come home with me," Nicole said softly, touching Daphanee's arm. Daphnee shook her head, her gaze fixed on some distant, bleak point. "I need to be alone. I need to process. I'll call you later." "Daphnee, don't shut me out. Please. We're in this together." "I know," Daphnee said, finally meeting her eyes. The pain Nicole saw there was bottomless.